So what do the next few weeks hold for Bitcoin and altcoins? I'm going to cover that in this video. Now, if you saw my recent update in the last video, it was about 10 days ago. So nothing much has changed in terms of my long-term outlook and view on cryptocurrency. I think we're very, very close to a top if you haven't seen one already in Bitcoin. And max on Bitcoin, if this is a larger wave for tracing, we'll have one final pump. So kind of like a mini version of this. So if I scroll back to an 8-hourly, you can see the sideways consolidation we had last year from March all the way up until August, September time. That we're just tracing out something very similar to that. And this was the final pump after that. So we're going to get one mini version of that. And that's the end, in my opinion. If we're lucky. If we're unlucky, we saw a top over there already. Now, because Bitcoin tops doesn't matter really because a lot of people aren't invested in Bitcoin. It's the altcoins we care about. Now, when Bitcoin stops, Bitcoin dominance will fall, and I'll show you that on a different chart. And then we get some pump in altcoins. So we'll discuss that right now. But basically, in terms of Bitcoin, that's what I think is happening. And as I said in my last video, we're going to have 2 months where we're chopping sideways. I said that a couple of weeks ago, and that is indeed playing out. Low volatility, no real strong price movements. And then the other worrying sign. What's the worrying sign? Every single day, massive bullish news on Bitcoin. What's happening to the chart every time we see that? No movement in terms of price whatsoever. No movement in altcoins. In fact, altcoins are going down. That's not a good sign. Usually when you're around a bottom, like a local bottom, what's happening is you're getting some short-term bearish news, but price isn't really dropping any further and then suddenly starts cratering upwards. Now what you get near a top is the opposite. You get loads of bullish news, price does not want to push up anymore. So it's a bit of a worrying sign. But anyway, like I said, it's not a surprise because this cycle has been running. As I mentioned in my last video, people, for some reason, they're still ignoring the fact that we've been running since 2022. We're in 2025 now. We've had most of the cycle. We've just got a tiny bit left. I would say, again, it's all opinions, but these people who are saying, well, interest rates haven't dropped yet, they're not printing money, we haven't even started yet, are clueless because they're just ignoring what the charts are screaming at them. What if you saw recently there was a high inflation print? So what if it is really the decade of stagflation and you're never really going to get this magical area where you get literally zero interest rates again for a while? What if that doesn't happen for a while? Cycles still have to play themselves out. And I think that's what will happen. Now, are we part of some mega super cycle over the next 10 years? I think extremely unlikely given what I've seen in the last few months. But obviously, you can never rule these things out. It's trading. We're just discussing probabilities. Let's discuss some altcoins. So Solana, as I said in my last video, I feel it's topped. And that was the top just under 300. Now, again, disagree, whatever you like. I'm not really going to personally change my opinion. I hope it pumps more and we can get more of a rally. And I think if we fall into some super cycle, we will do. But there's divergence here at the tops. So we know that we're in a local top area. Now, obviously, this can bottom and then run again if it wants to. Will that happen? I think it's very unlikely because the downward pressure in Solana, obviously with Solana, it mostly is meme coin trading. And the downward pressure is massive because every single week, hundreds of millions disappear from the market. And everybody who rugs some of these meme coins, what they do is they immediately turn the SOL into USDT or some other stable or eventually into fiat currency and move on. And all the while that they're doing that, it just keeps pushing the price down more and more and more. It's not only the big players, it's the smaller players as well doing that. That's just the reality. Because of that, there's been a lid on the price. So where we got to here in March, price is really, really struggling to pump. Despite it being an extremely bullish last 12 months for Solana for obvious reasons. All the attention's been on Solana, not Ethereum, not anything else. Barely moved. Let's talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum is a train wreck of an altcoin, in my opinion. This whole move was corrective and this has tagged this previous high we saw in March, which is important because it means whatever structure started from here to here, it's very likely over, and very likely that structure was ETH's bull market. ETH's bull market was this rubbish from here to here. That's it, done. So this move down is going to need a partner, and that's probably what we're starting to see right now. Yes, we might get some odd pumps back to 3,000 and stuff like that, but I think ETH is done. I hope I'm wrong and we get another pump, and maybe with Ethereum we get some NFTs pumping and stuff. Cannot see it. Can't see who the punters will be, who will be chasing after this kind of stuff. Right now at this stage of the cycle, I think is extremely unlikely. Ethereum's had every single chance to pump. It never has. And again, if you go on the timeline on Twitter, you can scroll through a million bullish tweets on Ethereum. Doesn't make any difference to the price. Very, very bad sign. And from a market structure point of view, the fact that we're still messing around, after all of this bull market, we're still messing around at 2,500. How is that a good sign? Like since June, we bottomed at June 2022. We're coming up to 3 years now. We're barely off the lows. So what magical thing do you think is going to happen? And you can say, oh no, but it's when Bitcoin tops, that's when Ethereum just goes vertical. Nah, it's even in the last cycle. You can see earlier on in the cycle, Ethereum had significant rallies, like right through, not only at the end stages, significant rallies. It's done none of that this time. So in my opinion, Ethereum is a complete write-off. Again, if I'm wrong, but can't see it from this chart at all. This is just not an impulsive move. An impulsive move can then get more bullish and go up. This is not. This is corrective. So where is their hope? I think, so let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. So to check that chart, you just type in BTC-D. You'll see BTC.D. That's the dominance chart. And I've still got arrows on here from the last video, but because basically what happens towards the end of every cycle, it's different this time. ETFs, kind of mainstream maybe adoption of Bitcoin and stuff like that, and obviously altcoins. Most people realizing that the vast majority of them are complete Ponzi's. They have no real use case or utility. So obviously they're trading like meme coins. So I don't think the dominance is going to be anywhere near as low as last time, as I keep saying. I think it's going to be, if anything, a minor push. Maybe down to, I think even 50% would be massive. But due to this move, some altcoins will get a little pump. That's my theory anyway. Let's see what happens. And I think that's not going to happen anytime soon. I think we're going to go maybe end of March, start of April. And then we're going to get, again, it's only ever 4 weeks. Sorry to put a damper on things, but now when we pump, it's just 4 weeks. Like you saw at the end of November, slight beginning of December, it's just a few weeks pump of a few altcoins and that's all. So what's going to pump? That's the important question. Where's the opportunity? Well, this is my opinion anyway again, and I think it's very, very important to look at the newer coins and the coins that have a little bit of narrative. First, SUI, whatever you want to call it. This particular one, it's been strong. It's been strong since the October lows, going from nothing all the way up to $5 odd, and reasonably healthy in the pullback. Yes, it's a sharp correction, but reasonably healthy. I do wonder if it's just going to challenge these lows again at 2 and wick below. And then, like I said, if a few altcoins pump, this will definitely be one of my picks for another run up. Another one is an older one. Don't like the older coins, but this is the only one I consider because obviously the chart is looking strong. And we saw a nice, what looks like a 5-wave move, or it could be that was a 3 and we're left with one final move in XRP. If that's the case, then we could get one final push up, maybe get to $4 or $5 and then call it a day. And that's the end of XRP, like forever. But basically, that last little multiple. So from where we are, or from if we swipe low, we may get a 2x in there. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we topped already, obviously. So I think XRP would be on my list. Next, I'm just adding this here because I think there should be some exposure to AI. And to be honest, this is going to be very, very difficult for the last pump because it's going to be so short and sweet. But I think a couple of the larger coins I'm keeping an eye on. I'm not saying I'm definitely going to ape into render, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Looks like very close to maybe completing a correction around the 3.5 mark. Now, if this can do a quick run, this could run back to all-time highs or just tag above all-time highs. That's best case scenario. The chart's not looking great. It's getting a little bit deep, but I've definitely got this on my watch list. Same for Tau, Bitensa. Again, much newer coin. We completed what looks like a kind of weakish impulse there. It's whether it does another couple of waves up. Hopeful, but yeah, again, no guarantees. But if we're going to get a bit of an AI run again, like a final run before the end, then I'd be looking at Tau, render, not really FET, which hasn't been strong. Just another one that's showing decent strength. Another new one is Ondo. I've got this one on my watch list as well because again, look at the structure of the lows. Nice impulsive, sideways. We're kind of consolidating around where we saw the June high was. So yeah, if there's get another pump, could be some multiples in there. But honestly, guys, is really slim pickings, like going through any of these altcoins, because you're just getting this issue where over the lows now, every time they've overlapped the previous move. So there's nothing really truly bullish. as we saw in a lot of these coins in the previous cycle, which I've discussed before. Anyway, regardless of long-term opinions, let's talk about short-term trading opportunities, and I think some potentially could be setting up. So like I said, on a longer time frame, over the next few weeks, it's looking quite choppy. Now on a shorter time frame, so I'm now on an hourly chart and I am a trader, so I'm looking for setups here. If this is a sustainable low, so a low from which we can move and make some sort of brief rally even, what are we looking for? So first thing we're looking for is to break structure. So we need to break these highs. So for example, this is Cardano. We look like we're doing that and we're consolidating around this, which is a good sign. Next, we need a sequence of higher lows. Usually what happens is when everybody's bearish on altcoins, you can get this kind of sideways almost accumulation. And then what happens is it kind of slowly curves round. And then you just get a day when everything just kind of quickly breaks out. Now, if that's going on, you of course don't want to miss that, even if it's just a small multiple or a small rally. And it's very easy to identify. So you're going to know way before everybody's shilling everything on Twitter or on YouTube. And how do you know? From this structure, all you're looking for is every time we move up now, we break that previous high. So we move up, break this high, pull back down higher, break up, break a high, and then we kind of curve around. And anytime we don't do that, and you get even at 12 hours where we're just a little bit bearish and we break down. So rather than break up, we break down. So for example, this important structure low here at 75.42, if we break down below that, it starts to get very bearish, especially if we tag this high. Because then what's happening is it's a sideways corrective pattern that's completed. So a 3-wave pattern. So on every single alt, like this is injective, kind of similar to Cardano, it's creeping up. That could be the start of something, we don't know yet. We're getting a bit of a curve round. It's all a bit overlappy, but has potential because this could be a nest of a wave 3. So you never know. So we need to break this high. But when we break that high, look at the reaction. So I'm drawing a horizontal line there, and basically what you're looking for, is it a fake out? So what that means is we run up and we quickly break back down, and then we start messing about in this area here. If we're doing that, then yeah, we're definitely heading down. We're going to challenge these lows. However, if we break out, we get support on this high and then curve round, then yeah, you've got a bit of a trade going there, so you can get in early. Now you can buy it now in preparation for that move if you want to. So you just get a little bit earlier so that if it doesn't work out, you kind of don't lose any money. Remember, this is just, we're talking about short-term trading here. We're not talking about, I think, injective, if you buy in here, is going to go break all kind of all-time highs and stuff like that. Not at all. But for a little 2x, yeah, some potential is there. Solana, same thing. I'm on an hourly now. Now Solana's looking a fair bit weaker. So if you look at this, we just had a look at the other two charts. Look how far we are off this kind of little swing high here. So it's struggling to even maintain. So on Solana, it's bearish. Like if this low goes, then we could be in trouble. And this will look more and more corrective. And the thing is, if it's confirmed as, yeah, it's just a little bit of correction, we may grind over, like I said, grind higher, like I said in my last video, and tag the highs for Solana, and then have a quick immediate dump. So a little bit of a pump, some bullish news for a few hours, everybody excited, interest rates or so whatever, and then a massive dump after that. XRP, so you can see already on XRP we have broken these highs. Now we will know for sure what's happening, because again, like I said, if this is just a 3, we'll go a little bit higher, and then that flag will complete. You'll get some divergence on indicators. So for example, I've got MACD here and RSI, so you'd get some divergence here, kind of building into the position, and then we will dump back into the range and then very likely head lower. However, if we can hold, so break that, we pull back a little bit, which is no problem, and we hold a little bit higher like this and do this kind of zigzag, then yeah, we could get a pretty decent run there on XRP. And then we can start talking about targets, and very likely it's going to go on and do a new all-time high, and that will be the forever top, in my opinion, of XRP if that were to occur. As I mentioned earlier though in the video, it's the stronger coins that will do a little bit better if we get a little bit of a, let's call it a correction or a little move higher. So which other coins are you looking at? Please comment below any altcoins you're looking at, whether it's AI coins or otherwise. More than happy to have a look at them, and we can even discuss them in the next video. Thanks for listening.